characteristics of autism that I have observed and what interventions I've utilized to support students with that behavior. So for fixed interests, I have seen students prefer their trains or prefer their math puzzles or their drawing, right? And that can hinder them from being able to participate in lesson activities or in social interaction. And so the things that I have used to support them in their access to their education is I have had social groups with lots of visuals. I'll use like a Venn diagram to have a student talk about what their interests are versus what other interests might be, and then like how, what's the overlap of what shared topics would be appropriate to discuss with another individual. And using that explicit teaching and practicing and encouraging and monitoring that any small group environment helps. For where students like to order their environment, I've had several students that have, they'll like to get things out and then just leave them on the table the way they are, and then they don't want anybody to move them. I have a few different students that do that, and so they have to be taught that this is a community space and that I can't just necessarily monopolize all of that. And then they also need to put the materials away when it's time to do that. So what I use for that is when I'll use a lot of front loading to help make sure that they know ahead of time what the expectations are, so that when it's time to clean up or hey, you can only use this much space, to let them know what the expectations are ahead of time. That helps. Also, exposure training. Like if they really struggle with that with a transition or that expectation, then it might just need, we just need to practice and use a positive reward for them as a reinforcement for when they act appropriately. And then if they struggle or have a meltdown, break, and then try and go back to it when they are more calm, and then try again to get some level of positive response until they build up that resiliency to be able to do that skill, whatever it may be. For the difficulty with sharing and turn taking, this can manifest itself in the classroom and on the playground, is what I've seen. And so for one student who had trouble with sharing materials, we just had them have their own pencil box with their own color pencils and erasers and things like that, so that it kind of limited the number of negative interactions with his peers. And then with turn taking outside on the playground with a student that struggled with that, I would structure interaction with a specific peer that was very patient and reward them with a little shark ticket that they could turn in to the office for something. And so that peer, I would just facilitate and direct the interaction to make sure that there was appropriate turn taking. And this was last week, and when the interaction didn't go well the first time, and my student tried to pull the friend off the swing because she didn't want to share and she wanted the swing, then she had to be encouraged to leave the playground, and then she went and was encouraged to say sorry, and then to that peer, and then go back, and then we tried it with another peer, and that interaction was more positive, and the student was able to do it. And then later during lunch recess that same day, she was able to do it with the peer that she originally didn't do it with in the morning. And just that practice in being able to just be right there and monitor them, I think really helps. So that's it. Thanks, Mike.